Hola, hello, ¿cómo estás?
Hello. Hi, guys.
Hola.
Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of The Migas.
Migas. MIGAS.
We are hopped up on matcha and chai. It's great. I love it. Yum, yum, yum.
The matcha. You think it hypes you up? You think it hypes you up?
I think it's the placebo effect. Because in my head, I'm like, I went to Starbucks. And
you smell the freaking coffee.
Yeah, and
got
you're
in
just
your
like,
nostrils. You're just
you know, it's all in my brain. It's like, wake up! Yeah, so that's
I like
good.
that. I like
we're,
that.
We're good.
I mean, you can even smell it from the drive-thru, so you're right.
That's
you're
true.
Right.
You know. So welcome back to another episode of the Migas podcast. We're so happy to be here.
Are you?
Yeah, so happy to be here. So this episode, we said that it was going to be a surprise. So we're going to talk about that.
Wait, close your eyes. I have a surprise.
We're going to talk about that Supermom Syndrome.
Are you like a superhero?
Shit. Like you know the bathroom sign, and it's like a dress, and they're like, it wasn't a dress after all, it was a cape. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, like shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
I don't want to wear a fucking cape today.
Yeah, I want to wear
a fucking
sweats.
vestido, a dress, vestido. That is just. Oh, we haven't been doing like the Spanish word of the podcast. Vestido. I mean, you may pronounce it a different way depending on where your Spanish dialect is coming from. I am Dominican, so we'll be chopping up the Spanish. So bear with me. My beautiful South American community, because y'all Spanish is popping, or your enunciation, all that enunciation. But yes, vestido means dress.
Okay.
How do you say it in Moroccan?
Kiswa.
Ooh, kiswa?
Kiswa.
That sounds French.
Yeah, it's not.
Kiswa.
Kiswa. So yeah, I had this. I was on Instagram, like all of us.
As usual.
As usual. As the past
what do you wake up and do?
Right? It's like,
fuck the kids. Let me check Instagram.
So I was on Instagram and I saw this post. It was like something about Supermom. I don't know exactly what it said. It was like just that we were pretty much just like a badge of honor when you're called a supermom, and that enraged me versus feeling empowered. I did not feel empowered. I felt exhausted. Because, like, so here's my issue. Whenever, like, for me, like, whenever my husband's friends' wives, or, like, just people who kind of just see what I do, whatever, oh my God, Nora's a super mom. And I'm like, that means I'm exhausted. And
that means that you're doing the most.
Yes, literally doing the most.
To me, at least, that's my
and
definition of supermom is that I'm doing the fucking most, and you're fucking tired, and nobody's fucking helping you do it.
Exactly.
So you're doing the most of everything and anything, and putting yourself fucking last. That is Nora in the fucking dictionary.
Didn't I reached out to you and I said, and I'm like, I feel if I'm not exhausted at the end of the day, if I'm not like, I'm done, my back hurts, like I'm just done, I feel like I didn't have a productive mom day. And I feel that that's so toxic to myself.
Super.
Because, one, like, motherhood should be enjoyable. Yeah, it's hard as fuck. It is hard. It's hard in these streets.
Capital H.
Yes.
A.
R.
D.
R. But it's like, why does it have to be so difficult? And, like, why is that, like, you're a super mom, like,
Like, no.
I just want to be a regular
thank you,
mom.
but can you come help me? Can we be a fucking super team?
Seriously, can we be a super village?
Super village team?
Come on.
SVT.
Let me tell you, the best superheroes,
They're fucking...
they're a team. The Avengers clearly didn't do well separately.
You don't watch The Boys, but that's a superhero team, and they're fucking toxic as fuck. Like, that's another thing, too. Like, because they all obviously are superheroes, so they have that ego that they could do it them damn fucking selves. But obviously when they're following the one bad guy, they all fight together and it's all nice. But then after that, they're like, fuck you, you're on your own.
Yeah,
I'm
better.
do my own thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the same shit with moms.
Yeah. And it's like
these superhero moms.
We need to stop that super mom thing and just be okay with being not mediocre moms, because we're not.
No.
But just being the moms that our kids are going to remember, that are not always stressed out, not always doing the most, and like not enjoying it. Because I've seen so many times where I'm behind the camera and I'm showing my kids and how much fun that they're having, but literally on the other side, I'm just like, I want to go home. I want to go home. But it's so true. Like, when we went to the Liberty Science Center, like, the kids are having a blast. Right. But I'm like, can I just take this, like, tray out of their wagon and lay here? And can you just push me around? Because I'm so tired all the time.
And remember I said, I was like, oh my God, we took all these cute videos and stuff. We didn't get like a group picture of the kids, but we didn't even bother taking a freaking selfie together.
Of us, yeah.
It's like, oh, your birthday's coming. Sorry, I can't post shit on Instagram because I don't got no pictures of you, sis. Or with you. I have to maybe post an individual picture of you because
it's like, and I didn't even know her at that time.
And mind you, Dia Almonte came with us, and I had told her the day before, I'm like, hey, you're coming with us to the Liberty Science Center, cool. You're going to be like our photographer, content. Yeah. And the morning of, I thought, in the back of my head, it was to remind her on my ongoing to-do list that should have been fucking on there. But I didn't even fucking check the to-do list that day. Anyways, we got there and, forgot to tell her, like, hey, at least can you take a picture of us? And even her herself didn't also remember. She's great at things. Honestly, I haven't even asked her, like, hey, did you take a good picture of us?
Yeah. And
or a video. I think she was also videoing the kids as well, because it was it was nice.
It was nice, and they had a lot of fun. And at the end of the day, that's what's important, but we also need to make sure that we're having fun with our kids. Yes. Because I do want our kids to remember, like not everything has to be perfect, and not everything has to be picture perfect, but I feel like when I'm with them and I'm more carefree and things aren't done like to the T, like everything's checked off my checklist.
5:05, we are going upstairs and taking a picture at 5:06, okay, and 30 seconds.
And you will smile. Do you understand?
Fucking
like,
smile, say cheese,
and then cheese, like
the force one.
And like, I need to be more present and just be okay with things not falling into place, but also not caring of other people's perception of my mothering. Yes. It's like the whole Supermom thing. It's like, you not only do you have to prove to people that you don't even freaking know. It's a subconscious. It's a mind fuck. Yeah. Like, you don't even know these damn people. You don't know them from a freaking hole in the wall. But the fact that they see all these posts that you're doing, it's a little ego boost when you're like, oh, you're a Supermom. You're always taking your kids out. You're always doing this and that. Yeah. But I have to work on it with myself. Like, how do I feel like doing things with my kids? Like, I want to be a super mom for my kids. Yes, not and for I want to be a super wife. I want to be like a super self person. Like, how is Nora doing?
How about you just remove the super?
Like, yeah, like I just want to be Nora. I want to be mom.
I think you're so stuck on the super.
Yeah, and it's like I just want to be. You ain't a super. I ain't a super. Shit. Like
I mean, you a landlord. You was not a super. We ain't here to maintenance. Yeah. Think about it. Superhero. Super. You're maintaining hero.
I'm maintaining this unachievable life that I put. Like, I've spoken to my therapist about it, and she says that I'm a perfectionist, and I never thought that. I was like, "What are you even fucking talking about? No, you're crazy." Yeah. And she's like, "Nora, you're a perfectionist, and you need to make sure that you get this in check because it's going to kill you." And I'm like, what do you even mean? And then she's like, walk me through a day. And I walked her through a day. And
she's like, in the first hour, she's like, okay,
she's like, your life is exhausting. And it is. And the thing is, it's like, for example, like the spaces in my house, I'm like, if they are not clean, I feel like there's a part in my brain that's literally like jumbled. Like, in Charlie Brown's like, womp, 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 womp. Like that it plays all day long. Fuck. Like all day long. Like I could be out doing something, trying to enjoy myself, and I'm like, your bedroom's not even made. The bathroom is dirty. And I'm like, holy crap!
Yeah, you're exhausting me now.
And imagine being in my head. It's like, are you crazy? Yeah. Like, yeah, I am crazy, but I'm trying really hard not to, because now with kids, I have their schedules, and I'm not fun. I'm stressed out all the time trying to be this person for my kids, but I'm stressing them out because I feel like I'm not good enough or doing the best for them.
And I'm pretty sure they think you're the fucking best.
Literally, I feel like all they want me to do is sit there, and like with Ollie, like he likes to show me things. Like, he'll stop videos and he's like, Mommy, look at the monster. Oh my God. And you know how highly sensitive he is. So he's like, oh my God. Oh, the monster's coming. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, you know, and he just wants me to feed off of that energy with him. And like Alina now too, like she's been watching these two little kids and she's like, Mommy, ABC. And I'm like, yeah, Mama, ABC. She said, A for apple, B for ball. And I'm like, yeah, all they want is me to sit there. But then I like sit and like 3 minutes in, I'm like,
twitching. You're gonna become into a fucking zombie.
I'm like, can I just go upstairs and clean something? Like, I need to just do something. Like, it's unproductive. And it's super. Like, I feel like me sitting there is just unproductive time versus thinking about it like, this is time I'm never going to get back with my kids. But it's also how society and things make you feel like if you don't show all the things that you're doing, or if a mom posts everything that she's doing with her kids, you feel like you didn't do enough.
I get that.
Like, I did not do enough. Oh my God, we have 7 days in the week, and I only took my kids out 2 of the 7 days?
Yeah.
Oh, horrible mother. I am the worst mom in the world. Like,
so maybe one thing, I mean, obviously I know the kids are going back to school now, but one thing that I saw this one mom do, and I think I mentioned her in the previous episode, she's Jilly Beans on Instagram. Her goal was just to do one new thing each week for the summer.
Okay.
And that didn't mean like going to these crazy elaborate, pricey places. One thing could just be like taking a new class, checking out a different library. And it just seemed so obviously easy to do. Mm-hmm. And also so, I don't know, like, it just felt, it looked and felt so peaceful when I saw that post.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like this. I was like, I need more of this. And again, that's another thing to be conscious about. Getting into that superhero mom mentality is what pages are you actually following? Mm-hmm. And again, I think I mentioned this also, and again, tying everything all together, detoxing your social media. Which
I need to go through today. Since the kids are with my parents, I'm going to go, because whatever doesn't make me feel good, I'm going to remove it.
And maybe I'll send you some of the pages that are feel good mom pages, mm-hmm. at least for me, and see how what your feedback is on them and how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna need you, like I always say, to calm the fuck down. Okay, and more so in your head, because obviously I think you're amazing and what you do as a mom, and you're fucking killing it. And I'm not gonna use the word fucking superhero.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that anymore.
I don't like it, and I think it's a lot of pressure. Because it's like, oh, you're right, I am a superhero, so I gotta keep up with that image.
Yeah.
And why? If it makes you feel like shit. Like how you said that if you don't feel exhausted at the end of the day, it's like, that's not, to me, when you told me, I was like, ugh. I was like, cringe. I was like, I don't feel that way, I'm like, and my days are always also different, and I try to do whatever the best I can for Caleb, and I'm like, all right, I'll try again tomorrow. Yeah. That's kind of like my kind of more laid back, I guess, thing. And again, still having that type A mentality, and kind of the same thing, being out somewhere, but thinking, okay, like, what's the next thing? Even, again, going back to that Liberty Science Center day, it's like, okay, so I know we said we are going to go to Target, so when the fuck are we going to that? Yeah. And it's just like, wait, slow down, Cindy. We'll get to Target whenever the fuck we get to Target. Let's enjoy this present moment right here and just kind of go with the flow. And also that we didn't have a true schedule. I remember I said, I was like, oh, we'll go from like 11 to 1. And I think 2 hours is more than enough. We didn't get there exactly 11. We got there like at 12. So I was like, all right, roll with the punches. And I'm like, oh my God, we said it was 11 and now it's freaking 12. What the fuck? And I was like, all right, what can I do in this hour? I literally was able to, let me go on FaceTime. Let me catch up with my comadre. Let me do this. Let me call. Let me check my email. Let me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, how can I be productive in this moment of waiting instead of kind of like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so my go-to thing, the little shift in thinking, again, like, I hope that you work on that thing of, okay, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I had a good day because I'm fucking exhausted. Like, no.
Yeah, no.
That's not fun.
It's not fun. And, like, my kids are at this age, and this is actually why I sought out therapy, was because I felt like I wasn't enjoying my children at their age. Like, I found myself saying all the time, like, I can't wait till they get to an age where they have their own hobbies and they leave me alone.
Yeah.
Like, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Like, they need me, and I need to be, instead of I need to be my best self, I need to be myself. Mm-hmm. I need to be able to enjoy them. Like, these three babies are reflections of myself and my husband. Like, we fell in love. We decided to have a family. Like, we love things about each other, and now we have three little babies. Like,
little hearts walking out of your body.
Exactly. And it's like, I need to make sure that I'm there to guide them, but at my, not even my best, at myself. Like, to give myself that grace, to give myself that, I could pat my own self on the back. I don't need the validation from anyone else. My children, them smiling, them being fed and clothed and bathed, and I don't need someone to be like, your kids look happy. I know they're happy.
Correct.
Because I'm their mom, like, and Berto's their dad. Like, we do our best to make them happy. And, like, sometimes I feel like I overcompensate by buying them, like, 1,000 things, because I just feel like...
They're so simple.
There's
simple beings.
Like, there's a box? Oh, my God, let me play with the box.
We turn them into fucking consumers. Like, we don't need to have all these fancy things, and talking about even, like, that Montessori life. Montessori life is such a minimalistic way of living that it is so it's like a breath of fresh air. And that's why, again, I said I'm Montessori-ish, because I like things.
Yeah.
Like, I like stuff. Yeah. I'm getting better at, like, being more conscious, but honestly, becoming this target mom, it's been a little bit hard. Like, ooh, I need this, ooh, I need that. Or he needs, like, more Hot Wheels stuff. Like, even today I was unpacking.
Hot Wheels.
I was unpacking the fucking car, the trunk, and I had bags there for like a week, because I just kind of, like, when I'm buying stuff, I'm like, all right, this can stay here for now, whatever, because I gotta think about where I'm gonna put it in the house, especially with our living transition right now. And then I'm unpacking certain bags, and I'm like, oh, a little Hot Wheels set. Oh, another little Hot Wheels car. Oh. So I literally put them all on a tray, and it's like 6 or 7 different Hot Wheel packages of cars or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is getting excessive.
Ridiculous.
But when is enough? No.
You know, to be honest, it's just, I feel like I'm overcompensating for the childhood that I wished I had. Like, my parents did a great job, you know, but they were also first generation.
I like that you said that, because that's...
They're first generation here. And my mom worked her ass off, and she still does. Like, she used to work at the airport, and my mom will never have a job that she loves so much as she did when she worked at the airport. I've never seen this woman, like, she was barely home. But the fact that she was always needed at work gave her that sense of accomplishment. But we needed her at home. But my father was always there at home. He had more, his job was, like, done at 4. He would come home, and he would, like, make us dinner and be around with us. And, like, we had a ritual with my dad, and I'll never forget it. Every Thursday when he got paid, we went to Mill Creek Mall. We got a gyro, and he would buy me, like, sneakers for basketball. But even if we went and he didn't buy me anything, it was just us spending that time together. Was something that I will always remember. And my father was always cool as a cucumber, like, very chill, like, just relaxed all the time. Those memories, I'm always like, damn, like, I want to create those with my kids.
And I feel like you definitely are. And to touch on what you said, that you want to make up for the childhood, because I remember Calvin saying that. I think there was maybe, like, those little cars that they ride in. He was like, oh, I never had one, so Caleb is definitely getting one. Mm-hmm. And I sat back, and I'm like, I don't think he really needs to get one just because you didn't have one. I was like, we can get one if he obviously shows interest in it. But I feel different than what you just said, because I'm kind of just, I'm not reinventing the wheel with Caleb. I'm kind of just obviously shifting a little bit as far as parenting style. But as far as, like, recreating the childhood that I never had, I had a pretty decent childhood. thankfully, thank God. But I can't say that I feel like I missed out on anything. Mind you, my mom, stayed home for a while my dad had like 2 jobs. So, sometimes, and I don't even truly remember that too much, him not really being there because of having to work to, maintain and support the household, 4 kids and stuff. And I think maybe because my mom maybe kept us busy, I guess I didn't feel any lack of anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, with Caleb, I definitely obviously wanna, and I think maybe that's why I have him involved in all these activities, just because that's kind of like what I'm used to when like growing up and throughout, even going up to the age of 13 and stuff like that. But yeah, I can't say that I want to sit here and like make up for, maybe I'm reliving childhood stuff.
Gotcha, yeah.
Maybe some stuff that I'm doing with him is going to probably reopen, like, the memory box in my brain.
Yeah.
Saying, oh, wow, I remember, I kind of did something similar. Oh, this is fun. Now we kind of have maybe similar memories to talk about. Even, like, last night with my nieces, having conversation with them, I was talking about, like, my grandfather and how, rest in peace, how we were with him or whatever. And they were talking about how they are with my mom. And sometimes, like, not so much the language barrier, but my mom talking in English with her accent. And I was like, what's funny is that my grandfather didn't know any English at all. So like we were like, fuck around with him and tell him to say like curse words and stuff like that.
Oh,
so one of the things I'll say to him, or we'll say to him collectively, because we're all just, when we're together, just fucking bad.
Bunch of little kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Bunch of little baddies.
Little assholes. We was tell him like, oh, you gotta say son of a bitch, and I'm like, fuck, we were cursing like that, when we were little. Like, we were in elementary school cursing like that, because I remember he would pick us up from elementary school. And I was telling that story to my niece, so I was like, don't repeat this, but, obviously, Carolyn and Josh, if you're listening to this and you hear the girl saying, Sarabambi, it's because they heard it from me. So that's how my grandfather used to say, son of a bitch or whatever. So they thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
So I'm like, did I just create a core memory with them? Because of the way that they were like laughing. So I actually like sat there in that moment. And I'm driving in the car, they're sitting in the back seat. So obviously I'm not seeing their reaction, but I can hear like that belly full laugh.
Aww.
So that to me, I was like, oh, that was really nice, especially now that they live, a little bit further away from us. It's not like I get to see them daily, as I would like to, or spend that quality daily time with them. But again, it's just having those moments.
Yeah.
Like I was even telling them, I really didn't have aunts or like cousins like that, like growing up consistently, like throughout the years in my life. And I told them, I was like, I hope, I don't think I told them this directly, but that's my hope for them, to be that present aunt.
Yeah.
Or titi.
I love that. Like, I love that. So, Malik and Hannah, if you're listening,
take notes.
Take some notes. When they're a little older, I'm throwing these kids in your car. I'm just letting you know that. Because I know right now
as soon as they're out the car seats, bye.
Bye. You can go with your aunties. They can take you anywhere. My youngest sister is always like, I can't wait till they're old enough. I'm gonna take them to go get a tattoo, and I'm like, don't you dare! Like, oh my god, please no.
Like, take them, but not like that.
Seriously, no. But I love that. I love that you're spending that time, like, so you're doing all the things to create these memories and everything, even with, your nieces are kind of like your kids anyway, so
pretty much,
just,
yeah.
So
my little Giselle, Juliana,
so
and the distant ones right now, Kaylee and Chloe. But,
such nice names. Kaylee,
Chloe,
Juju.
Giselle, Juliana, Juju.
But yeah, so I'm gonna work on my just momness instead of super
How
mom.
are you going to respond to people when they say you're a super mom? Because I think that's maybe where you can start the shift.
Yeah,
and start dropping little nuggets in people's brains to create that shift.
Like, if it's someone just saying it, that's not really like it's just like my ego gets big when someone says like you're a super mom. I feel like I get validation. So like for me, the validation piece is really big because I never get that validation from my mom. I always feel like I always have to be like, look what I did with the kids.
Like 5.
Yeah, like look, mom, look at like because even down to my grades when I was a kid, I remember this vividly. I had gotten on the honor roll, like first honors, and her and I looked at my report card, and she literally was like, "Is this the right report card?"
So she didn't believe it was yours.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And I'm like, I think so. And
I'm giving baby Nora, younger Nora, a hug right now.
And
the hug that she needed.
And literally, like the lady was like, yeah, like Miss Kadiri, yeah.
This was in front of a teacher?
In front of the aides, like because our school was so tiny, so the secretary would like and you had to go with a guardian to pick up report card because it was like parents' night plus report card night. Okay. Because our school was so tiny, and then we went to every single class, and they're like, yeah, Nora's a pleasure to have in class. Like she answers questions, she does this, and then she's like, her? Like I'm like, yeah.
But that's funny because I feel going back to my nieces really quick, like they could be wild cards at home, but at school, but they're fucking great in school to the point I think that sometimes my sister's like okay, she knows obviously that these girls you know are good, they're smart, blah blah blah, but she's like, oh wait, what?
Yeah.
Like Juliana like loves to help and she is a little helper, but at the same time, it's not like she's gonna be a helper when her mom tells her to be a helper. You know, it's more like so maybe that's. Again, here I am giving your mom the benefit of that, and you're like, "Bitch, no, don't fucking."
But I now that I am a mom, I do give her grace because like, she she worked all the time or whatever, and growing up in Morocco, she's only seen like the kids that didn't care about school, things like that, and I had a rough time in school growing up. Like I always had issues with like schooling and things like that, and just getting it, like just understanding. I don't know what rewired in my brain when I got into 7th, 8th grade. It just went from being like to being like, holy crap, I understand everything.
I'm
like,
smart.
Yeah, like I guess it was just me. I honestly feel it was that perfectionism waking up in my brain. Like,
because it's also the puberty phase. Yeah. Maybe and
I was just, it was to the point where my notes were taken by teachers. Like, they were like, can we take your notebook at the end of the year? Because it was that neat and I had to retain the information. And I was like, if I do not pass this, it's going to drive me crazy. It was just, Jesus. And it carried into college. And then, like, when I went to grad school and, like, and I always put, like, I'm like, ooh, I'm pregnant and I just had a baby. This is the perfect time for me to go and get my master's. I'm like, you dumb bitch.
Okay, superhero. Like you were wearing that cape hard through those college halls.
I'm like you couldn't wait till the kids were a little older, like, or you couldn't have done this before. No, you decided
you're never too old to start
to go back to school. Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure when you graduated, weren't those like? And I'd love to see it, like those 70 and 80-year-olds.
Oh, I love it.
Like, I'm like, fucking go. What a great way to keep also your mind busy.
Yeah, when I was in college, I never took the morning classes. I took them at night because it was a more mature crowd. Yes. And I loved that. I always felt like I was so much older in my soul versus the kids. Like, I hated going to class in the morning. So I worked in the morning and then went to school at night. And it was just older people. And I loved it because they're there for a purpose. No one told them to go back to school.
Correct.
They wanted to go back to school. Mommy and daddy are not paying their tuition. They went back for a reason. And I felt like the learning was just so much more pure and so much more with intent versus, I need to come to this stupid class because it's one of my, it's, part of the, I have to take these credits, like, blah, blah, blah. So I loved that. But again, I could have gone to school prior to getting pregnant. I could have gone to school maybe when the kids were actually in school. No, I decided I wanted to work my 40 hours in the city.
Beast mode. And
get my master's. Like, I can do it literally with my laptop right before a C-section. Like, I just need to do one more thing. I just need to do it. But it's like even like down to work. It's like, I'm gonna work to the last day. Big like no. Why?
And here I was like, let me take a week here, like 2 months before my maternity leave to see if that, if I want to take my maternity leave a little earlier, blah blah blah. Mind you, it was like working from home and shit like that. And I was like, I'm just gonna fuck this. I'm just gonna take my maternity leave.
This time around, I was a lot more chill.
Thank God.
Nobody knew I was pregnant either. But
nobody knows.
Yeah, so nobody knows. This time around, I legit was like, okay, so I'm going to take 2 weeks prior. because, I want to use the most of my time with the baby. It wasn't because I'm trying to prove anything. I'm not. Like, I have nothing to prove. Like, I just wanted to do the last 2 weeks. And then it was important to me also to give myself some rest so I can attend things for my 2 other kids.
Yeah.
So I'm like sitting there. I'm like, it's not the fact that I'm trying to be a super whatever. It's just all of these events ended up happening around the same time.
June, so
it was
the
the baby was born the next week. The 2 graduations. I'm just like, bruh.
Ollie's birthday.
Like, and Oliver's, and we were so. If I literally was caring what people thought, I would have done exactly what I wanted to do. Big birthday party at the trampoline park. I'm like, no. I'm like, literally, all my guts are going to come out if I don't sit here and just relax and chill.
For real, especially at a trampoline park.
And he had the best time. He had the best time doing nothing at home. A little Sonic birthday. I was like, nobody really was invited. It was my mom, my dad, and the grandparents. I'm like, here you go. Here's food.
That's sweet. And I'm pretty sure that's super memorable for him, too.
Yeah. And he was running around the house like a crazy person. And mommy didn't yell at all that day. I was just like, you can just go do whatever you want. You hurt yourself? That's on you, kid.
Well, maybe you should shoot every day like his birthday.
Oh, God, no. I told you he jumped off and then he hurt his toe. And then he was like, ah! And I was like, but that's what... This is why I tell you not to do that. And then you get mad and you're like, ooh, then learn.
Isn't it sometimes so hard to come back down from all of that too?
Because it's overstimulation.
Word.
That's literally what it is. When they hurt themselves after you've told them so many times not to do something, it is overstimulation because you're like, I just told you that you were going to hurt yourself. And then them hurting themselves makes you feel like you hurt yourself. Like, when they get hurt, I'm like, how could I have prevented that? How could I have that? But how many more times? Oh, God. It's literally like...
Ding, 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 like the dog's looking for a fucking bone in the yard.
I'm like, no. But I'm done. Like, do us a favor. Whenever you see a mom killing it, whenever you see a mom even just being with her kids, refrain from saying supermom.
I agree.
Just be like, your kids are lucky to have you. You are lucky to be in the season with your children. Like, take this time. Like, I mean, it's just an amazing time. And I feel like we're just stressed and overwhelmed all the time. Sensory overload.
We want to rush it.
We just want to rush through it and make sure that it's picture perfect versus just having that time with them and creating those core memories that will be built. Like whenever I feel like I force the kids, like, smile, say cheese. But then when you see the picture, they're like, cheese. Yeah. And then you don't, like, behind that, like, it's like, those live photos, like, when they stop and then they're like this, like, you just kind of, but when they do it themselves, like the picture I got of them high-fiving, that was pure, genuine. I was like, give each other a high five.
Excuse me using the word, but that was superhero-esque for me. Like,
yeah.
Alina's fucking jump. Like, I was like, you go, girl.
And I'm like, give your brother a high five, but it was more like funny, and she was just like, because they love it. Now they love it. They know when they're looking cute, they love to take a picture outside. They're just like, I'm gonna take a picture.
That's like with Caleb on the steps.
Yes, he
got
knows.
used to it. Well, when he received that coach's award, I was like, oh God, because he was like a little bit already like getting like cranky. I was like, he ain't gonna fucking stand up there with his freaking thing. I was already down in the poor kid. He held that freaking thing. And he was like, cheese.
Ali did the same thing, and he went like this. I'm like, you are number one. Because that's him trying to do a thumbs up. He doesn't know how to do it. And then he flipped me off once. I was like, Ali, thumbs up. And he's like, and I'm like, no, wrong fingers. And then I'm like, this way. And he's like, oh. I'm like, oh, God, no. But that's the fine motor skills that we're working on. Fine motors.
We'll get there.
But yes. So please, anytime you see any mom just doing the damn thing, just being in the moment with her precious little cherubs. No supermom talk.
Yeah, or just
keep it to yourself.
Even though that is, you may think that's something nice to say, just don't say it.
It isn't. It's more like a super exhausted.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like or like when people say like, oh my God, you look nice. Like your outfit is nicer than that, but you look tired.
Ugh.
Like. What?
Like, thanks.
I put on fucking concealer, though.
Like, I tried.
I'm like, I used to look at your eyes. You look so tired.
Oh, my God. No, I hate when people say that, though.
Yeah.
Like, you look tired. No shit.
How am I supposed to look?
I'm sorry. I didn't snort coffee grounds when I woke up this morning. My bad. Like you have to be, like, everything I see now. wake up before the kids. Fuck no. I'm sleeping, so I don't look tired. How about that? I'm sleeping. And it's like, try to get yourself, like, I could hop on that Peloton. But right now, the way that I'm feeling, I'm not going to do it. Yeah. Because it seems like a chore to me. I know.
But no. I'm not going to talk about the fucking Peloton. I'm talking about, and this is one thing that I preach in the Pandemic Moms group. It's like, you know how you rush to get up and like, oh my God, I have to make the kids breakfast? Like, slow the fuck down and at least serve yourself a cup of fucking water.
Yeah.
Take a fucking sip of water.
Yeah.
You know, the whole shit, put the oxygen mask on first.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to...
I do that.
Make your coffee first.
Yeah.
And then you could turn on the fucking stove or toaster, whatever the fuck you need to turn on to make them breakfast.
Yeah. Because
that little change... And then you're like, okay, I can actually, even if you just take 2 sips and the fucking kids are like, breakfast, I'm hungry. At least you had your 2 fucking sips of water.
I mean, I have my little Stanley cup that goes with me everywhere.
Correct, but
and I do fill it first, and I make my ice. Well, it's so easy because I drink the Chobani one already made, so I just do that with my ice and my little whipped cream, and I just walk around, and then I ask the kids. I actually ask them in the morning, what do you want? Okay. And I'll be like, would you like eggs, waffles, like things that I already know is going to be so easy for me to make. And then Oliver, I'll be like, put it in the toaster and like kind of get them involved while I sip my coffee. But I want to create memories versus like dictating to them what to do. That's really like, that's what, it needs to be a social media detox from my children showing up on there. Whatever we're doing is private to me. Because when you do post to the last point where we did in the last episode, unsolicited advice as well as unsolicited compliments and just,
those superhero compliments.
Yeah, it just comes naturally.
Correct.
And people will always think like it's making nice, like you're like, but when we went to Liberty Science Center, it's like, oh my God, this is amazing. But then you feel like shit. So all the other days that we're just chilling at home in pajamas doing absolutely are not amazing.
But they actually are.
But they are amazing, but you're not broadcasting that. And it's just the digital world that we live in. Unfortunately, we open up our lives to strangers and even those that we don't see all the time. And it's just how the human brain works. It's like if you're not constantly getting those compliments and constantly living up to what everybody else's highlight reel is, you feel less.
No, you feel like shit. That's why, again, I'm like, I post. Hopefully that inspires someone for the good and it doesn't make you feel like you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Or it motivates you like, oh, okay, maybe I should try that class too. Or maybe, let me try that thing. Hey, if it, because again, whatever is working for us, I'll share it.
Yeah.
It could work for you. It could not. And that's fucking okay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't fucking consider myself a fucking superhero mom. And I don't ever want to be a superhero fucking mom.
Yeah, no, me neither. I don't want to
You're like, don't do it. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do
As a recovering super mom.
This is SH Anonymous.
Right? It's Supermom Anonymous. No, but it's a lot of internal work that I have to do. And I know there are moms that struggle with this too, especially in this. I keep going back to this term because this is just the life that we live, this digital world that we live in. It's like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how especially
I mean, like, I don't know how to fuck, I don't know how the fuck I do it either.
Honestly, sometimes I'll be driving. I'll be driving to my destination. I'm like, how did I get here? Facts. You're literally on autopilot mode all the time.
And I used to be, and that was that way before becoming a mom. And this is another tip. If you aren't a mom yet, or if you're about to become a mom, get yourself also in this mentality. And again, all those little mentality shifts and changes goes a long way because you have something to kind of like fall back on when you're going through those freaking crazy thoughts and circles in your fucking head. Like, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck is my purpose? Da, 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 da. You can be like, oh, hold on. Let me slow the fuck down. I am not a super mom. I am doing the best that I can do. Mm-hmm. I'm not, trying to keep up with social media. Cool. I saw that this mom took her kid to swim class today. Then she did a fucking arts and crafts shit. And then her kid went to fucking sleep on time. good for her.
That was a good.
I'll try.
That was a non-bump in the road day,
right?
But that's a highlight day because we didn't see the tantrum. Yeah. Behind the scenes.
Again, and I've said this before. I was like, I'm not gonna post those tantrums either.
Yeah.
I could say like, well, I think like the other day when I took Caleb to the craft shit. The story, no, not craft shit.
The craft shit.
The story time and craft time. He was wilding the fuck out during the story time. Like, he would not sit still. He's over there fucking eating, trying to eat other kids' snacks. But I'm like,
that looks good.
And I'm just like, because then, like, the instructors are telling me to come get your fucking kid. Your kid cannot be in the front right now. He's distracting the rest of the room. So I'm like, oh, God. And then when we finally got over to the craft section, like, I realized, oh, wait, do you want to draw? ¿Quieres dibujar? Dibujar, the Spanish word of the day of the podcast, of the episode, means to draw. So I told him, I was like, ¿Quieres dibujar? And then he was like, ooh, it was like a little light bulb in his head. And I was like, oh, I forgot that this kid actually, like, drawing keeps him freaking calm.
Yeah.
So because he was like putting the stickers on the stuff first, and then he was just kind of like, I'm out. He literally got up from the fucking chair, and I'm like, oh, fuck, how do I get this kid back? Like, we're not done with this fucking time right now.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, and then my niece was with me, so she was like, oh, we still got to color, and I was like, oh, thanks, because I completely forgot. Mind, the fucking bucket of markers is right in front of us. The way, again, my brain, I'm not I'm not in the moment.
Yeah.
I'm more like, oh my God, I need to make sure that he finishes through. Like, you know, the kid is fucking barely 2, and I'm here thinking like all these expectations for him. So I gave him the marker, and he sat down, and he was there for like a good 5-10 minutes, and I was just like, oh wow.
That's all he needed.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Core memory made.
Core memory.
And I was able to actually record a video of it, and it was nice. You know.
Well, remember that mom I told you I was following? She has the cutest little kid. It's Andrea something. I forget. Andrea or Andrea? I don't know. But she has this cute little boy, and she always records him waking up or whatever. And someone actually, like, everything that she posts are obviously the good things. So she posts a lot of what my toddler eats in a day.
Okay.
Like, that was, like, how she started. So then she actually posts him waking up, and then all done, like, all this stuff, and, like, a nighttime routine, whatever. Someone said in a comment, they're like, how, like, does your son ever have a tantrum? Because you never post when he's having a bad day. And she responded, she goes, I don't post that because my first thought isn't to pick up the camera and show you guys.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did talk about that.
How he's having a bad day. My thing is to calm him down, to make sure that I'm here for him, to be present with him. And she's like, I'm not gonna post that.
I agree.
And it's just like, bing, like, people are not posting the shittiest parts of motherhood or parenthood
or just your life.
Of just life.
Period.
Like, yeah, like they're. It's so crazy because like these content creators are quick to be like, look where I went to Mykonos and look where I went to Italy and it's so beautiful. But then those other things,
like you
please be private and respect my privacy. Like
you didn't tell us that you lost your luggage on the way to Mykonos and all this other stuff.
Or like when,
so it is nice when people do kind of give you those little snippets of the shitty moments, because you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that definitely also happened to me, so I get it. But that's nice that you were still actually able to enjoy.
Yeah.
Hopefully you enjoyed your trip at the end of the day. So I actually like that, because it's like, you are going to go, like you said, have those bumps in the day. But if you can sit there and kind of like quick as possible, like learn to get there. And I was actually talking about this with Almonte the other day, because she's like, that she's noticed how quick I've been able to like bounce back from stuff. Mm-hmm. But I was like, this has taken years of work. You know, because something bad will happen to me, and I will literally sit there and dwell on it, let it consume me, let it consume my day, my week, the people around me. Like, it would just be like a fucking twister of just shit. You know, like like I hate the saying, like, when it rains, it pours. Mm. I'm like, why? Yeah, it could rain, but the fucking sun is gonna come out and it's gonna dry shit up, and then, you know, everybody moves on, type of stuff. So I've been kind of taking that little thing and kind of saying, all right, well, that was fucked up, or damn, that fucking sucked. But okay, on to the next thing. I don't know, that's just kind of been my thing.
But that's good.
It's been super helpful in motherhood.
Yeah, because whenever that phrase, like, when it rains, I feel like that also plays in the law of attraction, because you're already...
the manifestation.
Yes,
because you're going to sit there and you are going to
you're expecting.
You're gonna just look at the negative of everything.
And
the
you're
same
like,
thing like when you buy a car, right?
Yeah.
And it's like now you fucking see that car everywhere. Or like when you think of something, obviously now also too we're seeing it in our fucking ads because the phone is picking it up.
Hello.
But it's literally that same kind of like process is happening in our brains. Like all these now negative ads are popping up in our heads because we're like,
close tab.
Exactly. Again, like even if you experience a death, right, and then
it's like,
that mourning process, and and it's just like why?
Yeah.
You know, like the same way that they say pregnancy comes in threes. Like that's actually like a
You're
like
like, yay, perfect.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like
it's what you're
attracting. I try to replace those negative moments as quick as possible with like something positive. Like fuck, like Caleb twisted his freaking ankle, but damn, he was able to walk it off. And that's another thing too. Looking at the resiliency of these kids.
They are resilient as heck.
Fuck,
they
carry on. Like that's something I was like, we need these kids are here to teach us.
Yeah, because remember, like I thought Ollie broke something, and then he just it's dramatic, and then 5 minutes later he's like still jumping around, and I'm like.
Right, like, but if we do that, like, oh my god, I'm never jumping
I'm out for a week.
You know, like, if we actually build our own, like, anxiety
and
or fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fear. Oh, this is so random, but the whole, manifest, like, the law of attraction, or, like, whatever you see, like, the whole thing. I was telling Berto this, I was like, it was so random. I was thinking I've never seen a Hawaiian license plate in person. I was thinking of Magnum P.I. because I was watching the show. And I was like, I see it all the time. And then I'm at Target and the car parked next to me has a Hawaiian license plate.
I'm like, because your brain was looking out for it.
I was like, that's
you probably
so
had
hilarious.
passed by a bunch of them, but your brain wasn't consciously aware of it.
I'm like, and it's so cute. It's white with a rainbow.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is adorable. I'm like, and what are the odds? The car right next to me.
Look at that.
I'm like, that's so funny. Is it God's way? Should I go to Hawaii? Should I just book
yes,
right
let's
now?
do it.
Let's go to Honolulu. Let's go.
Do it. That's what I'm saying. That's why, like, even like I was talking to this with my sister, like what I say, like my relationship with money, and we definitely need to. And like we said before, that we're doing a podcast on finance. We should bring in like a guest as well for that. And it's like my relationship with money. It's like money comes and goes. Money comes and goes. So my sister had a pretty like rough month or beginning of the month with like car stuff or whatever. She's like, damn, I just dished out all this money. Sorry, Carolyn. Sorry, not sorry. I'm putting your fucking business out here. but it's to prove a point. So again, had all these situations, and then both her and her husband had separate like trips this month. And she's like, fuck, like, we have these trips coming up. On top of that, it was like back-to-back birthdays. So like a lot of money was already spent. And then boom, this expenditure of having to like fix up the car and so on. And she was like pretty like upset. And I remember that upsetness, if that's the word, like kind of like consumed the day. And like I felt like it consumed me. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? It's not my fault that your car got fucked up or whatever. But again, that negative kind of like energy that she was freaking like projected onto me. And then it kind of like threw me off. And then I was able to recollect myself quickly. And I was like, well, that's her problem. I'm sorry that happened. But like, what
can you do? Yeah.
What can I do about it? Besides obviously give you money if you really need it. But then right before she left for her trip, because she was like, oh my God, I may have to like take money out of my savings for this trip, which I wasn't really expecting to do. But then she got booked. She had 2 bookings back to back from her side hustle. And how she has her side hustle set up is that they have to make a deposit.
Yeah.
Right? So she was like, yeah, just with those 2 deposits, I have more than enough to go on my trip. And I was like, you see, this is why. And her and I have kind of a similar mentality when it comes to money. Like, money comes and money goes. Money comes and money goes. Like, we'll book something and they're like, all right, whatever, we'll figure it out later type of stuff. Like, the money will come. Yeah. I don't know where it's going to come from, but I believe it'll come from somewhere. Yeah. Or whatever. So that's just kind of like my mentality. But it's funny because with Kelvin, it's like the complete opposite. He's more like we did this and that. And I'm like, oh, whatever. Like, let's just do it. We'll figure it out later. He's like, no, what the fuck? No, we're not.
I need a plan right now. Where is the money being allocated?
Saying? I'm saying? The more I'm talking, I'm like, am I really a type A person? Because I'm not sounding like fucking.
You're chilling.
So manifestation is huge. And again, relationships that you have again, the same way that you have a relationship with money, the same way you have a relationship with your children, your friends, your husband, all of that. And like I know, like you mentioned before, I want to be a super mom. I want to be a super wife, super this, super friend.
I just want to be me right now.
There you go. But at the same time, have those back and forth, easy, kind of flowing manifestation energy.
Yeah.
With all aspects of your life, like little by little. It does not fucking happen overnight.
It does not. And I've
been working at this for like, I want to say maybe like 5 years plus. And I remember even in the pandemic mom group, one day I had went to my little personal training session. Then right after went to Starbucks, and I'm like putting that in the chat, and I'm like, you know what? I've realized that I actually manifested this years ago.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh, when I become a mom, I don't know because I remember like Calvin saying that, oh, I want you to like stay at home with the child, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't really know if I want to do that. But obviously then boom, the pandemic hit. And then I was like, you know what, fuck it. I am going to stay home. But I'm going to stay home and be this way.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm still going to, again, going to the self-care shit, going to the gym, and doing all this. And then I'm like, but wait, when I was in that Starbucks, I remember I was grabbing my drink in the drive-thru. I was like, I fucking manifested this shit, so I'm gonna fucking enjoy it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, whether that makes me humble or not, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna manifest my dream life, and then I'll get back to you guys.
No, but seriously, manifest it, and manifest that you will not be a super fucking hero.
No, I'm just gonna be.
You're gonna be you.
I mean, if I'm gonna be a superhero to anybody, I want it to be to my children, for them to just know that mommy will be there when times are tough, and just be their cheerleader, everything. I want them to always remember happy mommy, because like, you know, Ollie makes comments. He's like, why are you angry, mommy?
Oh,
like,
wow.
you know, and you know, he's all about his feelings or whatever. He's like, mommy's so angry, and I'm like, because he don't listen to me, you know. But like now, like. There needs to be a shift, because I'm feeling it. I feel the anxiety, and I don't need that anxiety to go to my kids. But also, I don't need, like, the only validation I need are from my children and from my immediate family, like my husband, like my kids, even Max the dog. That drives me fucking crazy. Just to be like,
he fucks shit up.
Oh God, this dog. Ugh. But he's also a baby, so you know, he's like, how can I F with mommy?
Yeah,
and it's
how
like,
can I get her attention?
Yeah, let me rip the bed apart. I'm gonna be like, it's crazy ass dog. But yes, so let's wrap up this amazing episode with just, you know, give yourself grace.
When you see other mamas,
and just, you know, we're all in this together.
Is this from
High School Musical?
Yeah.
Not the Lego movie.
Everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome.
Yeah, I gotta get more with the.
I watched High School Musical as a kid, so you know, because we were all about the Disney Channel. I used to try to wish I was one of those Disney Channel kids, and then they turn out to be a bunch of creeps.
For real, or crazy. You know, Disney Channel for us, it was like So Raven.
Oh yeah, that's So Raven.
What's this girl that Hillary Duff? What is she?
Lizzie McGuire.
There you go. You know she's like she became something on Carter's. She's like the CEO.
She has a nice line too.
Yeah, like I was looking at that, but I guess I wasn't looking at the options.
She
did, I think,
2 home births herself, which
Okay.
I think is, it's incredible. I'm like, who would have thought?
Right?
Like Hillary Duff. Remember her line "Stuff" by Hillary Duff?
Mm-mm.
I think it was that
Stuff by Hillary Duff.
I think it was at Walmart.
Oh,
and it was called Stuff by Hillary Duff. I was like, whoever is her marketing is absolutely genius.
But another one is Amanda Bynes.
Oh yes,
The Amanda Bynes show.
And she had a show with one of the girl from 90210. Oh my God, I forgot the name of the show, but I used to watch it all the time, and I feel bad because she also fell off the face of the earth because she was so great. Yeah, that show was really funny.
Well, we can sit here and talk forever.
Forever. All right.
The shows.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Next episode will be
a surprise. So, talk to you next week. Bye, guys.
Ciao, ciao.